Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. If you are seeking thrills and all things captivating, then you are in the right place. Brace yourself, for by the end of this video, your insatiable curiosity will be satisfied. We start off today's collection with a rather interesting yet confusing bit of footage. When it comes to blending into their surroundings, chameleons are the undisputed masters of camouflage. But what about a Bigfoot that doesn't want to be seen? Watch this video. Did you see it? Or rather, can you see it? At first glance, it may have seemed like you were simply gazing at trees and their bark, right? But what if I told you there's a Bigfoot there? Have a second look at the zoomed-in footage. Did you see the face? If you missed it earlier, that's because the elusive Bigfoot was making every effort to remain hidden. It's truly chilling how effortlessly they blend into their environment, almost becoming one with the surroundings. The person behind the camera only spotted the Bigfoot because they were aware of its presence and ventured out to investigate. If not, the creature would have stayed hidden. This makes us wonder how many of these creatures actually live right among us without us knowing. The answer, I fear, might be more than we count. Next, we have a trail cam footage I can only describe as spine-chilling and, quite frankly, scary. The trail cam, initially placed to capture footage of wildlife in a typical forest setting, ended up capturing something far from ordinary. Confused? Watch the footage. The footage starts off with some coyotes walking into the frame of the camera. One coyote swiftly disappears from the frame, while the other takes center stage. But if we pay attention to the left side in the darkness, a pair of glowing eyes appear. As if that was not enough, another pair of glowing eyes also emerge beside the first pair. These two pairs of eyes appear to be floating on a foggy, ghost-like body, almost like smoke. The apparition lacks a discernible form, but you can see a swirling mass of smoke with its glowing eyes embedded within. Just as the last coyote leaves the frame, the ghost-like entities vanish without a trace. What in the world could that have been? Well, we don't exactly know. In the paranormal community, however, there are debates about their identity. Some speculate they could be nocturnal hunters, others suggest they might be skinwalkers, and a select few believe they originate from another realm. What do you think they are? This footage was taken by some kids who went into the woods to explore. As adventurous youngsters, they set out in search of something exciting. But little did they know they were in for more than they bargained for, and count themselves lucky to have returned unscathed. Whilst exploring the woods, they spotted a massive beast moving gracefully between the trees. It was dark-furred, very muscular, and walking on 2 feet. At first glance, they mistook it for a gorilla, but upon closer inspection, they noticed its upright stance and powerful human-like strides. It was at this moment that they had a sudden realization. They knew that they had discovered the elusive beast. They knew that they had discovered Bigfoot. However, their excitement quickly turned to fear, and they instinctively sought refuge. They remained hidden until the creature was out of sight, because they couldn't tell if it'll be hostile or friendly. They believed they were lucky to have made it out alive, given how terrifying and intimidating the creature looked. But what do you think? Are they telling the truth, or could this be an attempt to get famous? Let us know. Next, we visit Utah-Arizona border, where Bigfoots are rumored to roam. Before you laugh off the idea, take a look at this image that was taken from the area. You see it, don't you? Those footprints are anything but ordinary. They can only belong to one creature, Bigfoot. These human-like ape creatures seem to be popping up everywhere. A group of hikers found this huge human-like footprint embedded in the mountains. The tracks were not only large, but also impressively deep. It's evident that whatever left them must have been immense and remarkably heavy. Given the fact that no ape or human or even bear could have left those footprints, we're left with one culprit. Yes, Bigfoot. But what do you think? Next, we have this odd capture by a trail cam set up in the woods. Instead of capturing wildlife, however, this cam captured the shadow of something all who have seen the footage have been trying to figure out. Have a look. Yup, that's a shadow. The shadow appears to belong to a creature moving away from the trail cam's location. Upon closer inspection, it becomes challenging to discern the exact nature of the creature from the shadow. Some experts speculate that the shadow might belong to either an ape or a bear. But do these creatures exist where the footage was taken? Your guess is as good as mine. That leaves one contender, the Bigfoot. While relying solely on the shadow makes it challenging to determine the creature's identity, members of the paranormal community are convinced that it's a Bigfoot deliberately evading the trail camera. In the world of endless possibilities, it doesn't seem too impossible now, does it? But what do you think? It's no surprise that humans and animals are not the only inhabitants of the Earth, and footage like this is proof of it. The video was retrieved from a trail cam. In the still of the night, two strange entities walk by like they own the place. One appears taller than the other. They appeared ghost-like, so it was very hard to make out what they really looked like. However, you can see what looks like a head on both entities, and those heads look inhuman and horrid, like something out of a horror movie. I know the owner of the footage won't look at the forest the same after seeing this footage. Who knows what else roams the woods and our streets at night when we go to sleep? Definitely not me. Next, we have footage from a trail cam, which appears to have captured something even more sinister. Don't believe me? Have a look. Did you catch that? Emerging from behind the tree, you can see a pale figure's head. At first glance, the figure appears human-like, but upon closer inspection, you notice its unnaturally smooth features and absence of ears, leaving you questioning its humanity. Furthermore, its neck is extraordinarily elongated, and its eyes are dark and sunken, almost appearing hollow. Upon closer appearance, you can discern it's emaciated and bony. What kind of creature is it? It's very hard to tell. From my perspective, it could be a rake, although there's a possibility of it being a skinwalker. As enthused as the paranormal community is with these predictions, there are many who believe it might either be a person in a costume or an edited footage. Based on what you see, what do you think? Next, we visit the woodlands of Ohio. A man was walking through the woods when he heard the sound you hear playing currently. Clearly, that doesn't sound like a dog, wolf, or bear. It's an eerie mixture, almost resembling a howl, but with hints of other unfamiliar sounds, reminiscent of a hyena, albeit in a subtle manner. It's quite hard to explain, because it doesn't sound like anything we know. What then could it be? These woodlands have a reputation for numerous Bigfoot sightings. In fact, the locals firmly believe that the cry could only be a Sasquatch. But why would a Bigfoot be howling this loud at that time of day? Could it be hurt, or is it merely a mating call? I guess we'll never know. Next, we have this footage from a trail cam that was set up to investigate strange disturbances in the owner's backyard at night. This trail cam was set on a fence facing the backyard, hoping to capture whatever or whoever was responsible for the disturbances. The owner of the trail cam was, however, very shocked by what he saw when he retrieved the footage. Take a look. Did you see that? Let's watch it again in slow motion. Was that a wolf or a dog? It could be either, right? But hold on. Take a second look. It appears that the creature might be clothed and standing upright, doesn't it? This makes it impossible for it to be your regular dog or wolf, so a werewolf maybe? Many think that that's the only explanation, and guess what? The owner of the trail cam footage is convinced too. What would you do if there was a possibility of a dangerous creature like a werewolf living around you? I don't know about you, but I know I would relocate without hesitation. But what do you think? Is this real, or is it simply a hoax? Tell us in the comments section. It's quite amusing that humans have been on Earth for centuries and still not have an explanation to certain phenomena and situations. Take a look at this footage. A group of men went camping in the snowy mountains when they noticed something weird with the trees. Take a look. Did you see that? One of the trees is moving. This movement is not like the regular sway of trees in the wind. The tree appears to be uprooted and hovering, cascading onto the surrounding trees. It's as if an unseen force plucked it effortlessly from the ground. That can only be done by big machines, but there was none in sight, so could that have been some kind of a giant or Bigfoot? And as if on cue, a second tree exhibits the same strange behavior. Just before the man recording gets terrified and flees, we witness the astonishing sight of a giant ape-like creature effortlessly holding the uprooted tree in one hand and sprinting away. That creature must be very strong to have pulled that off, but what at all could it be? I'm quite certain that it's definitely a Bigfoot. I mean, there's no other logical explanation, unless the Hulk lives there. But what do you think? Skinwalkers, paranormal creatures capable of assuming any form, be it human or animal, often mimic those they have encountered or harmed. Since they're not in their true form, they exhibit peculiar behavior. Now, let's look at a prime example. This deer right here. It jumps uncontrollably and bolts straight into the bushes. Following this one, another deer later emerges with its neck looking like it's been snapped to the side, but it somehow walks perfectly fine and doesn't seem to be in pain. What do you think of this situation? Could they merely be sick deer, or are we dealing with the paranormal, specifically deer, right here? Next, we have this CCTV cam footage, which is beyond weird and disturbing. These two young men were walking at night and were spotted on camera. A few minutes later, one of the men just vanishes into thin air. Upon closer examination, when the other guy disappeared, a sudden horizontal blink of light appeared, a scene reminiscent of alien movies where extraterrestrials arrive in their saucers to abduct humans. The light came and left as fast as the guy had also vanished. It's also possible that he stepped into a mysterious portal, teleporting him to another world or a different location on Earth. The truth behind this perplexing event may forever remain a mystery. Meanwhile, the unsuspecting friend continued walking, only later to turn and check on his companion, to find him vanished. Filled with fear, he quickly fled the scene. What do you think, though? Is this real or a fake? A trio went horse riding on Beaver Mountain, a woman, her husband, and a friend. The three riders were having the time of their lives and were oblivious to the third member who was quietly stalking them in the woods on their left. The woman who lagged behind caught sight of the creature peering at them from the depths of the woods. She said that the creature she saw stood about 6 foot tall and was brown-furred from head to toe. The creature looked nothing like a chimp, monkey, or a gorilla, leading her to believe that it was a Bigfoot. The presence of the creature caused the horse her husband was riding to grow restless and behave erratically. The woman, filled with shock, silently locked eyes with the creature until it vanished into the depths of the forest. She doesn't know how she survived, but it was one of the scariest moments of her life. What would you have done in such a situation? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have footage from another trail cam that was set up to capture wildlife. Unlike the other trail cam footage in this compilation, however, this one actually ends up capturing wildlife, just not what the owner was expecting. Confused? Watch. Yep, that's a spider. This curious little spider decided to unravel the mysteries of modern technology. This arachnid adventurer stumbled upon a trail cam and couldn't resist the urge to investigate. With all 8 tiny legs working in perfect harmony, the spider cautiously approached the camera lens, displaying a determination to get up close and personal view of this intriguing device. It's terrifying because it's a spider, but also cute, if you ask me. Once again, we have another person thinking that he has superpowers, so he goes out into the woods to check out a weird noise he heard with only a camera in hand, but what he saw left him traumatized. As you can see, this person is walking through the woods when he stumbles upon a tree. Just as he's about to go around it, a tall alien-like creature emerges from behind the tree and the video abruptly cuts off. Now, I don't know if it was Halloween, but if it was, then that was a hell of a realistic costume. If not, then I'm sure this person is traumatized for life because that creature looks hideous, like something out of a nightmare. Not many believe it's real, though. They argue that the facts don't add up and that it's possibly a hoax. What do you think? This footage was taken from the backyard of a live streamer. He heard some noise outside and decided to check it out, so he turned his camera to the darkness in his backyard. Emerging from the depths of the darkness, a ghostly figure materializes, only to vanish moments later. The creature looked to be about 7 foot tall with very broad shoulders. Not only was it huge and fast, the entity also appeared to be smoke-like. Could that be a ghost, an alien, or some kind of evil spirit that was out on a haunting? Tell us what you think. This creature was captured on camera perched on a tree branch. It looked like a winged gargoyle with bat-like ears and distinctly unusual wings unlike those of any bird. Due to the distance and low lighting, the camera couldn't capture a clear image. However, based on our observations, the creature exhibited humanoid shoulders, a bird-like head lacking a beak, and curiously displayed what seemed to be ears on its head. As the creature moves about, you can see its legs like that of a spider or a person. It's hard to tell from the camera quality. The paranormal enthusiast wants to believe this is real, yet it blatantly looks fake. It looks like a bad case of CGI to me, but what do you guys think? The ocean is so large and mysterious, and as the days go by, we keep discovering new creatures emerging from it. Take a look at this. What is that in the water? Looks like a hybrid of a rat and a snake. This creature was found by a fisherman. The creature is entirely white and possesses a long neck along with piercing black eyes that seem to stare directly into the camera. Is it some type of undocumented fish, or is it merely fake? Tell us in the comments section. For our penultimate clip, we've something rather interesting. While a family of raccoons was traveling, they encountered a coyote. In response, the raccoons sought refuge in a nearby tree. However, the hungry coyote leapt to attack one of the raccoons. The intended prey, unwilling to become a meal, fought back by clawing at the coyote, causing it to shriek in pain and hastily retreat. Raccoons and coyotes are nocturnal animals, meaning they usually thrive in the night. Raccoons often become prey for coyotes, so when they encounter each other at night, it usually results in one becoming dinner while the other goes hungry. Knowing they're basically fighting for their lives, raccoons display a strong aggressive behavior when they come face to face with coyotes. And for our final capture, we have this close-up image of a deer looking into a trail camera. Despite being jumpy and having the tendency to flee at the least provocation, these creatures are some of the most curious animals on the planet. A fun fact before you sign off this video. Deer have glassy eyes that reflect light, which is why you often see their eyes glowing in the dark. This reflective quality is due to a membrane behind their retina called the tapetum lucidum, which can also be found in other animals. Pretty cool, right? That concludes it for today. See you in the next video.